Hello everyone, welcome to the Ichimoku Charts.com daily analysis for the S&P 500 for Wednesday, November the 16th, 2011. Well, a continuation of the trend to the downside today. And here we see a candle that's continuing to make a lower high and a lower low. Previous day's trading, we had establishment of the trend to the downside. It was a spinning top type candle which raised some indecision in this market. But as we can see today, we've had the sellers close with control of this market, and they've shown some strong commitment to taking this market lower. They were strong enough to take out the previous candle's low and close the market down towards the low of today's candle. So a fairly negative day with the sellers showing that they've built some downside momentum. Now, if we look at it in contrast to the previous sell-offs, we can see these large red-bodied candles, and that's no different. But as we've seen develop previously, the market's failed to go on with the move. So it'll be interesting to see whether this area that the market's trading at the moment holds up as a barrier. If we do see bullishness coming in the next day, then we could expect to see some sort of a rally, perhaps to the higher barrier of the symmetrical triangle that's been formed. But now the market's interacted with that lower barrier, and there is strong potential, however, for the market to take that out. The symmetrical triangle that's been forming is an area where we have a congestion area and a series of lower peaks but higher troughs, so we have a narrowing of perceptions of the buyers and the sellers in the market. And eventually we get a breakout. It could be a fairly strong move. They tend to be continuation patterns, but they can be reversal patterns. And here we have the prior trend. It's important with all patterns that we always have a prior trend. So this market is certainly primed for a breakout to the downside. Having said that, however, we do have strong support down below where the market's trading at the moment, and we have support at 1232, then down to 1219, down to the round number 1200, and then to the top of the cloud, which extends from 1190 all the way down to about 1150, 1145. So very strong support down below. To the upside, if we do see a breakout to the upside, we do have resistance at 1265, then at 1275, and this large zone of resistance that we highlighted in yellow that extends all the way up to the round number 1300, so strong resistance overhead. In Ichimoku charts terms, the market is bullish because we're trading up above the cloud. And we've now turned bearish in the medium-term and fast-term timeframes by trading down below the Kijun-sen, the pink line, and the Tenkan-sen, the green line. We had seen the market oscillating above and below the Tenkan-sen, and that's probably what we'd expect when we're forming a large congestion area here, as we've done over the last few weeks. But for the first time in quite some time, we've seen the market close below the Kijun-sen, and that means we're bearish in that medium-term time frame for the first time in quite some days, probably about a month or so. So that could be fairly significant that we've closed down below there in a bearish manner. If we look at the Chikai span, that's above the corresponding price action and above the cloud, so that's supporting this overall bullishness that we're seeing by the market trading up above the cloud, but certainly not supporting the bearishness that we've seen with the market trading a bit down below the lower time frame indicators. So obviously for the next day's trading, the low of the current candle is very important for a potential break of the triangle that we've had forming. Certainly the 1232 region is very close and will offer strong support, so we'd like to see it break down below there. But if we do see that breakout, then we do need to consider that it won't necessarily travel very far. We have round number resistance at 1200, support. We have round number support at 1200, and then the cloud extending all the way down through to 1145. But to the upside, we also have that very strong resistance overhead. Next, moving on to gold, and another red body candle for today's trading. Continuation of the trend to the downside, a candle that's made a lower high and a lower low, but a much smaller body to this candle than the previous two trading periods. So over the previous two trading periods, the sellers were making net bearish progress on the day between the open and the close. They've done the same today, but a lesser amount, and that does raise some doubt about continuation of this first time frame trend to the downside. We also have the body of the candle forming towards the top of the candle, and we can see this large shadow on the bottom, and that represents upside price rejection. It represents the sellers losing commitment, and we can see that as the market tested down around the 74 region previously, we saw the sellers lose commitment, and this coincides with the lower barrier of a symmetrical triangle, similar to what we're seeing in the equities markets, or a pennant. A bit hard to say whether it's either. It's probably a little bit too big to be a pennant, perhaps a symmetrical triangle. But we have seen this upside price rejection from the lower boundary of this pattern. But what we do know is that this market is congesting. We have volatility decreasing, so we've gone from trending action to congestion, and next we'll end up with a breakout and an increase in volatility, which will offer a good trading opportunity in this market. Having said that, however, we are trading above the cloud. The cloud is very close down below, so if the market does break out to the downside, then there will be a limitation to the potential target because of the solid support that will be offered by the cloud. To the upside, however, we only have really that area around 1814 where we have fairly strong resistance for this market. So probably a better trade to take if we do see the market break out to the upside from this pattern. In Ichimoku charts terms, the market is trading above the cloud, as we've said before, so overall long-term bullish, and also trading above the Kijun-sen, which is also pointing flat, so the market's bullish in the medium-term time frame, but that flat Kijun-sen tends to attract price action back towards it, and that's what's happened on a couple of occasions here. But the sellers aren't able to maintain any downside momentum in this move to back towards the Kijun-sen, so that could be fairly significant for this market. We are still just trading up above the Tenkan-sen, so the market is maintaining its bullishness in the fast-term time frame, and that's fairly significant too. It's been some time since we've seen the market trading the Tenkan-sen, so if we do see the market take out that Tenkan-sen in a bearish way and break out to the downside, then that could be significant if that occurs in the next few days. Looking at the Chikou span, that is trading above the corresponding price action, so that's reinforcing this bullishness that we're seeing in this market, with all of the three time frames being bullish, but it is trading within the cloud, so that's a fairly neutral signal as well. It does raise some doubt about the continuation of the bullishness in bigger picture terms for this market. So obviously for the next day's trading, if we see a breakout to the downside, a close down below this lower boundary of this pattern, then it could be the start of a new downtrend, but significantly very strong support down below. If we see a bullish breakout to the upside, solid resistance at 1814, and then potential for the market to trade much higher. Moving to light sweet crude oil, and quite a bullish day today. Very large green body candle, continuing the trend to the upside with a higher high and a higher low, and a very large green body. The large green body denotes the buyers making very significant net bullish progress on the day between the open and the close. The buyers have been able to close the market up towards the high, so we have a market where the buyers have closed with control, and they've shown very strong commitment to taking this market higher, so a lot of momentum from the buyers today. The significant solid bullish close up above the 100 level, the round number, and that was a very big level for this market, and we've taken that out in a very decisive way, so that could be fairly significant for this market. Having said that, however, there is still strong resistance overhead, and we do have the first level at about 103.39, and that was a previous swing high, and then another swing high up around this 104.50 region. So we have this zone of resistance that extends from there up to 104.50, from 103.40 up to 104.50 roughly. And that has potential to halt this market and see the buyers lose some commitment. Just looking at the Ichimoku charts, this market is bullish in all three time frames. We previously had the bullish breakout at this level around 91, and then another one previously about 87 or so, 89 or so, and a continuation of that trend to the upside following those very bullish breakouts. So the market is bullish in big picture terms, but also bullish in the medium term and fast term time frames by trading above the Kijun Sen and the Tenkan Sen. And both of those indicators are pointing up very sharply, reflecting strong upside momentum in all time frames. Quite often when we see a big move like this, when we see a lot of momentum in the market and breaking a significant area, we do tend to see the market relax, and so that does increase the potential for this region to hold as an area of resistance. But having said that, however, if we do see that happen and the market does come back, then we could see this area at 100 hold as an area of support. We know that support and resistance can change its roles, so that's a very significant area for the market to potentially find support and halt any potential trend to the downside. We also tend to see the Tenkan Sen be the first level of support when the market's been trending up very strongly, and we can see here at this region, around this region here, and previously holding as resistance around this area. So there is strong potential for that area around 97.88 at the Tenkan Sen to hold as support if the market does relax to a degree. Looking at the Chikou span over here, that's above the corresponding price action, so confirming this overall bullishness that we're seeing in this market. So for tomorrow's trading, obviously watch the area around the high. If we do see the market continue up, trending up, and take out this area around 104.50, then we could see the market trading fairly quickly up to 106.95, and then potentially up to 109.75. But if we do see an indecisive type candle, then there could be potential for a change of first time frame trend and potential to retrace back towards 100, but let's wait and see how the market develops over the next trading day.